All right, shalom, shalom. My name is YAH. I'm with Savior Word of Yah, Tabernacles of the Congregation of Yisrael. And we are our weekly Bible study. The title of our Bible study today is Heavenly Health Care. Heavenly Health Care. And, with this Philadelphia reinstating the indoor mask mandates and all that type of stuff, they're starting to kick back up with those things. President Biden, he had the federal mandate for the federal employees. The courts reversed that, and it got reversed again back. So it is back in effect. So federal employees are mandated to go ahead and get the stick as well. So there's a lot of push with health. They're talking about a new variant and all kind of different things to get us concerned with our health. And they want us to put our concern into their hands, into things that we can do physically, like taking medicine, eating specific foods, and all these things contribute to your health. Even going vegan. All these type of things can help increase your health, but whether you live or die, that type of health care, that's in Yah's hands. So that's something that we want to do everything that's in our power spiritually to get the help that we need to survive, not from just these health issues out here, but just day-to-day life. I mean, it's crazy out here. So what can we do to enlist in the heavenly health care, where we can get help from the angels, where we can have Yah keeping us healthy and safe? So that's what we want to take a look at. And before we do that, we want to give out a special prayer request. My brother Yafi Yehuda, his granddaughter, she is sick, not in a good condition. Her name is Lauren Anderson. So we ask all the saints to lift up. She's just a 7-year-old little girl. She's having some issues with her liver and her kidney. So let's definitely pray, keep this young daughter of Zion lifted up in prayer. It's very unsettling when you have to deal with children being sick, innocent children that have not done anything but have to deal with illness. It's very concerning, but we've seen as a ministry and individually, we've seen how Yah can do things and how he can change things and outlook overnight. Sometimes it's from good to bad. He can change it that direction overnight, but also many times he's very merciful and he can change things in an instant to health. So we believe in the power of prayer. Let's keep her lifted up in prayer. Once again, her name is Lauren Anderson. Let's go ahead and keep the young daughter of Zion. She's 7 years old. Keep her lifted up in prayer. All right, so we're going to get into it. Let's open up in 1 Timothy chapter 4. 1 Timothy chapter 4. And again, the title of the Bible study is Heavenly Health Care. What can we do to enlist help from heaven to keep us healthy and safe and alive in such a tumultuous time? So we're going to open up 1 Timothy chapter 4. All right, so let's pull up the scripts. Because righteousness and in the way that we live our lives, these are the things that are going to profit us in our health, in our lifestyle, in our mental being. We're dealing with a lot of people dealing with mental health issues. So 1 Timothy chapter 4, and we're going to start this at verse 1. Now the Spirit speaks expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats, which Yah have created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. For every creature of Elohim is good and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving, for it's sanctified by the word of Elohim and prayer. So this is talking about in these latter times now, you have a lot of people that are departing from the faith, that are no longer believing in Mashiach. You have people that are no longer believing in their own nationality. And you have a lot of people that are just getting carried off into all kinds of doctrines. The Shabbat is rotating. They don't have to keep holy days no more. All kind of different weird doctrines that are coming with these seducing spirits. So all these things affect your health. Another one, commanding to abstain from meats, like some kind of way that if you don't eat meat, you're going to live forever. Well, no, that's not thus says Yah. All right. So verse 6. If you put the brethren in remembrance of these things, you shall be a good minister of Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine, whereunto you has attained. But refuse profane and old wives' fables, and exercise yourself rather unto holiness. So, all those little old fables, well, you do this, you do that, you're going to be healthy. If you take some lemons and all these things will help your health, but none of these things are going to guarantee your life. So all these wise fables and worrying about all these different ways to live longer, focus more on righteousness, on holiness. Verse 8, for bodily exercise profits a little, but righteousness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is and the life which is to come. So you got to keep that in mind, that this exercise that you do, it's good for your body. It's going to help you. It's not going to hurt you. But understand that righteousness is going to help you in this life now more than exercise to your health and the life that is to come, which is your salvation. So kill two birds with one stone. Focus on, hey, what changes do I need to make in my life, and see how much less stress you have and how much faith you have and how that affects your health and the health of people around you. Verse 9, this is a faithful saying and worthy of all acceptation. For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living Elohim, who is the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe. These things command and teach. Let no man despise your youth, but be you an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Till I come, give attendance to reading, exhortation, to doctrine. Neglect not the gift that's in you, which was given you by prophecy, which the laying on of the hands of the presbytery. So it's talking specifically to the youth. Don't neglect your gift. The gift that the Most High Yah gave you. Yeah, before you knew who you were, you might have used it worldly. That doesn't mean you throw away your gift. Find a way to utilize your gift for the Most High. That's what he gave you the gift for. And that's a little golden nugget right there, that stay in your gift and let it profit the Most High, so that he would have a reason to offer you health care. Do employers, McDonald's just say, hey, random stranger, here's some health care? No, you got to work for McDonald's. He's not going to just hand you some health care and say, hey, just cuz, hey, you bought a Big Mac, here's some health care. No. So the Most High is more merciful than McDonald's. He's offering us health care in advance through grace, giving us grace care. But if we want to dig into that real health care, that heavenly health care, then we got to do works for him. We got to utilize our talent that he gave us for his benefit. Verse 15, meditate upon these things. Give yourself wholly to them, that your profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto yourself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this you shall save both yourself and them that hear you. So practice what you preach, walk in this word, and it's going to help your health, and it's going to help those that listen to you, that decide to follow the same rules of righteousness. All right, so let's move on. Let's go to Proverbs, Mishle, chapter 3. Proverbs, Mishle, chapter 3. And we're going to see some more instruction from the Most High, how he tells us how we can enlist in his heavenly health care, how we can get his health care, not man's health care. Verse 1. My son, forget not my law, but let your heart keep my commandments. So let your mind, in your mind, keep his commandments. Verse 2, for length of days and long life and peace shall they add to you. So when you forget not his laws, you keep his laws in your mind, and you're trying to keep those commandments using your mind. What do I need to do with my body to keep those commandments? How do I need to eat? How do I need to keep my temple? How do I need to treat others? What areas do I need to be in? And if I'm going to be in troublesome areas, should I be there for fun, or should I be doing something to benefit the Most High? Verse 3, let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them about your neck. Write them upon the table of your heart. So shall you find favor and good understanding in the sight of Elohim and man. You know, I was talking to my Isha, my wife, the other day, and we were talking about just, you know, how we see a lot of murders and car accidents and all type of things that happen on Friday night. So Friday night's the Shabbat. So for the law keepers and the Sabbath keepers, we tend to stay indoors and rest and not work and not, you know, go somewhere where we're requiring somebody else to work. And that's when a lot of accidents happen. That's when a lot of parties are going on Friday night. That's when a lot of people are drinking and doing drugs and pharmaceutical drugs and doing all type of things and going out there and having a good time. And this is when a lot of bad things happen. But if you remembered the Most High's law and you said, you know what, he said, I need to rest on this day. That means I can't work. I can't call somebody else to work. Then maybe certain things wouldn't happen to you. That's a form of healthcare right there. And that's just not because I just said you should do that, or I decide. That's because the Most High said that. Verse 5, trust in Yahweh with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. So your own understanding looks up and all, you know, I'll get this HMO healthcare plan and I'll take this stick because, you know, the government is saying, go ahead and do it. I'll do all these things and lean to my own understanding. But my own understanding is leaning against Yah's word. Which one you supposed to depend on? Trust Yah with all your heart. That's the answer. Verse 6, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. So when you're trying to look at how to stay safe, how to stay healthy, how do you not acknowledge him? He's going to direct that path. That's a way. Verse 7, be not wise in your own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil. In doing so, verse 8, it shall be health to your navel and marrow to your bones. Nowhere in here does it say, hey, eat Leviticus chapter 11, and this is going to be health to your navel and marrow to your bones. This is going to give you long life. No, that's not enough. You have to keep the commandments. You have to walk in righteousness. You can't just eat healthy and think that you're going to live forever or live a whole long time because you're eating healthy. Yes, you need to eat healthy. But Yah is telling you right here is to be not wise in your own eyes. Fear him. Depart from evil, which means move away from transgression. This is going to be the help to your neighbor. Verse 9, honor Yahweh with your substance and with the first fruits of all your increase. So shall your barns be filled with plenty, and your presses shall burst out with new wine. So you trust Yahweh, trust him, honor him with your substance, with your money. When you get your money, give it to the poor. Invest in something for your nation. Yeah, I know we got bills. Now, I'm not telling you take all your bill money and go tithe. No, that's not what I'm saying. Take a tenth of what you get, that tenth that you know you need, but put it back into the Father some kind of way, whether you're helping somebody that needs, even if it's a brother or sister that needs help. All that we have is not for us. The first fruits belongs to him. In doing so, he's going to allow our to always have enough, so that when we need to take care of our health, we have a situation, we have money to do so, or a place to go, or health. Verse 11, my son, despise not the chastening of Yahweh, neither be weary of his correction. That's another way to enlist in some spiritual health care. Take the chastening. The chastening is what's causing you not to get killed. Verse 12, for whom Yahweh loves, he corrects, even as the Father, the Son, in whom he delights. So we can't be weary of his correction. We got to deal with it, suck it up, acknowledge it. We like to say, oh, this tribulation I'm going through, this ain't got nothing to do with my wickedness. This is just, it rains on the just and the unjust. No, he's chastening us. We know we make mistakes. Just because we didn't get chastened immediately for a mistake we made doesn't mean he's not going to chasten us down the line. So we have to humble ourselves, accept that chastening. Verse 13, happy is the man that finds wisdom and the man that gets understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She's more precious than rubies, and all things you can desire are not to be compared to her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. So in her left hand, you're getting riches and honor. But in the right hand, you're getting that length of days. That's that heavenly health care. Once again, only heaven can give you that. No man can give you that. A man can give you some riches and he can honor you, but he can't give you length of days. So don't believe what they say. They can't give it to you. They can't prescribe it to you. Verse 17, her ways are ways of plentiness, and all her paths are peace. So if her ways are plentiness, that means when you have, you giving out plentiful, because her ways of wisdom is plentiness, knowing that if I give out, if I give the first fruits, it's going to come back to me. Verse 18, she is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retains her. Yahweh by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding, he's established the heavens. By his knowledge, the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. So with this magnificent knowledge that he gave to create all that we see in the earth, that in the universe, everything in the firmament, outside of the firmament, in heaven, all this is through his knowledge. So do we not think that he has the knowledge for this uniform that he gave us, this carnal flesh, that he don't have the uniform to make it last longer, to make it operate better? So why we always want to listen to people that want to take our money to tell us how we'll live longer? Verse 21, my son, let not them depart from your eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto your flesh, to your soul, your nefesh, and grace to your neck. So if we hold on to his code of righteousness, not only is it going to be life to us, where it's going to keep life in our flesh, but it's going to be grace around our neck. So when we do make mistakes, when we do fall from the path, we'll fall into correction. We'll fall into chastisement versus falling into death, versus falling into some grave sickness. Verse 23, then shall you walk in the way safely, and your foot shall not stumble. When you lie down, you shall not be afraid. Yea, you shall lie down, and your sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it comes. For Yahweh shall be your confidence and shall keep your foot from being taken. So we have to always remember, Yahweh is our confidence, not the news, not television that comes with this sudden fear. Oh, this new thing, bird flu is doing this. Ebola, all these different things, killer bees, crime, everything. We can't be afraid of that. Let Yahweh be our confidence, but we're not going to be confident in Yahweh if we know we're not walking in his righteousness. If we know we're not obeying his word, if we know we're not helping his people, we're not treating his people right. He's not going to be our confidence. We're going to turn to everything that's in our power, in our pockets, in our inner circle, in our brains, and our research, on Google, everything. We're going to turn to that rather than turn back to Yah being our confidence. Verse 27. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it's in your power of your hand to do it. Say not unto your neighbor, go and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when you has it by you. Devise not evil against your neighbor, seeing he dwells securely by you. Strive not with a man without cause, if he has done you no harm. There goes some more spiritual health care, heavenly health care right there. Don't mess with people that didn't do nothing to you. Then you won't get killed. Then you might not get shot. You might not get, knocked out or lose teeth, arms broken, stabbed, whatever the case may be. These things might not happen to you if you don't strive with a man without a cause. You don't deal evil with your neighbor. These things, we overlook those things, and no, we want to go get the top-notch healthcare. We want to go ahead and trust experimental science instead of ancient wisdom. Verse 31, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. That'll help you live longer. For the froward is an abomination to Yahweh, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of Yahweh is in the house of the wicked, but he blesses the habitation of the just. Surely he scorns the scorners, but he gives grace unto the lowly. So stay humble. Don't place yourself above anybody. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. So let's go to Luke chapter 21. Luke chapter 21. Luke chapter 21, and we're going to read verses 10 through 19. So we have to understand that in our devoutness to this walk, our steadfastness, our faith that these things that we're reading in Bible study, that we're meditating on, that we're reading, that we've been taught as children, that these things will help us in these times when everything around us is telling us that, it's dangerous. We can't live like that. How are you going to do your job? How are you going to be a doctor if you're afraid that, you're going to get sick from healing people? You can't be a doctor. You have to sit on the sideline. So how are you going to be a priest and you're afraid to put his word into effect and be a living example? Luke chapter 21 and verse 10. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. And that's what we're seeing, a lot of great signs in heaven. We're seeing comets and stars, planetary alignment. We've seen a blood red moon way too often. All kind of things are happening. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, for my character's sake. Verse 13, and they shall turn to you for a testimony. Sell it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And you shall be betrayed by both parents and brothers and kinsfolks and friends, and some of you they shall cause to be put to death. And you shall be hated of all for my name's sake, but there shall not a hair of your head perish. That sounds like some real good heavenly health care to me. That not a hair on my head is going to perish. That no man can give you that. Verse 19, in your patience possess ye your souls. That's how you possess your body. That's how you control your fate. It's in your patience. So what is this patience? Let's see what the Greek word was for patience. Let's take a look at the Strong's. In your patience. All right, so it's G5281. Hupomone, G5281, HUPOMONE. And that is your cheerful endurance, consistency, patient continuance. So there's an action, not only just sitting back, but being cheerful, not complaining, not murmuring, not doubting, but believing, having a cheerful continuance. This is how you possess your body. You keep his commandments, you follow his will, and you cheerfully have faith and wait and endure whatever comes your way, even if it appears like it's happening because you're keeping the commandments. This is how you possess your vessel. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. Hebrews, Abarim chapter 10. So these are things that are in our power that we can do. And it's not easy. I struggle with it. My elders struggle with it. You know, my wife, everybody, all human beings struggle with these things. It takes discipline. The flesh is weak. It was designed that way so that it doesn't live forever. Hebrews chapter 10, we're going to start this at verse 19. So we have to enlist these things that we can do. Put forth our effort to show him that, hey, we trying to elect to be on that heavenly health care. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 19. Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiest by the blood of Mashiach, Yahushua, by a new and living way, which he consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh, and having a high priest over the house of YAH. Let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promise. So we can't waver. And we waver when we say, hey, we stand for these commandments. We stand for his word. We're his people. Our heritage is the land and his law. All these things is ours, but then we waver. Soon as, you know, they make a little law making it difficult for you, we waver. We you know, hey, we're not willing to suffer. Or as soon as the news say it's dangerous, hey, we're scared. No, he's faithful that promise. All these things was pre-2019. All these things were promised way before then. So in 2022, it's still going to be effective. Verse 24, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. That'll help us as well. If we don't provoke each other to anger, then we won't have the high blood pressure, or we won't get in the fights and the arguments. Verse 25, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. So don't forsake assembling. Some people don't want to assemble. They talk against camps and congregations and, oh, you know, I just study on my own. That's not the mandate. Zephaniah chapter 2 say, gather yourselves, O nation not desired. So if you separating yourself from everybody, that's opposite of the mandate. We're not supposed to forsake so much that he gave us 7 holy days. What we're supposed to come together. Verse 26, for if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for a judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries. He that despised Moshe's law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment suppose you shall he be that thought worthy, who trodden underfoot the son of Elohim, and have counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified a unholy thing, and have done despite unto the spirit of grace. So this is talking about the non-believers, all the old covenant brothers. So you throwing away Yahweh's sacrifice and calling it an unholy, a pagan, and idol worship and all that stuff, when he's the one who's offering us grace. Understand, where your sacrifice? If you old covenant only, who's covering you? Who's your high priest? Where's the temple? We would be dead in those sins. So it's Yah's grace. And he did it through that word, and he made that word flesh. And that flesh was Yahweh. Verse 30, for we know him that has said, vengeance belongs unto me. I will recompense, says the Adonai. And again, Yahweh shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Elohim, but call to remembrance the former days, in which after you were illuminated, you endured great fight of afflictions, partly while you were made a gazing stock, both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly while you became companions of them that were so used. For you had compassion of me and my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that you have in heaven a better and enduring substance. Cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which have great recompense of reward. So many of us, we had that confidence when we came in. We forsake family members, and we lost friends, we lost jobs. You know, we went through a lot of issues. You know, we're lonely at times. It felt we were lonely, like Isaiah and Elijah. But at the end of the day, we endured. Hold on to that. Verse 35, for you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of Yah, you might receive the promise. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. So it keeps talking about the saving of your flesh, the saving of your body, your actual life. This ain't just your salvation we're talking about here. And you're right, my brother. It's a lonely road, so praise Yah. You know, it's a blessing meeting your lovely wife. It's a blessing when you do have somebody that can walk this road with you and keep these commandments with you. Let's go to Psalms, Tehillim, Psalms chapter 147. And where it was just talking about not forsaking the assembling, not forsaking the assembling. Well, that goes for husband and wife too. You shouldn't forsake that, where you don't want to marry, you don't want to be married, you don't want to have a husband, you don't want to have a wife. That's the first assembly right there, your family, your house. Psalms, Tehillim, chapter 147. And many of us, we failed in our first marriage, in our first situation, first parenthood, or whatever the case may be. Don't let that bitterness build up in you. You learn from your mistakes and you keep it moving. We in captivity. We in Babylon, man. Ain't like we was raised in righteousness with good examples and had all the righteous counsel in the world. Now that you know the truth, keep that faith in Yah. Don't forsake. Just like assembly, same thing. Yeah, you went to this assembly, got kicked out. You went to this one, it didn't work out. This one was a cult. Don't forsake the assemblies just because you had a bad experience. Put that faith in Yah. Yah is leading you down the narrow path to where you belong. Psalm, Tehillim, chapter 147 and verse 1. Praise ye Yahweh, for it's good to sing praises unto our Elohim, for it is pleasant and praise is comely. Yahweh does build up Jerusalem. He gathers together the outcasts of Yasharal. So again, he's gathering the outcasts of Yasharal. So sometimes that means he got to cast you out of something, out of a group, the popular group, or the popular assembly, or the popular clique, or the popular company, so you can be the outcast, so he can gather his outcasts. The last shall be first. Verse 3, he heals the broken in heart and binds up their wounds. He's going to heal you. Not Zoloft or these medications for your temperament, or even marijuana. That ain't going to heal your broken heart. That's just going to make you not care about it for a moment. He's the one that heals that broken heart, that broken mind, that broken spirit, that downtrodden. Just, man, I've been through too much. Oppression drives a man mad. He binds up the wounds, the physical wounds, the emotional wounds, the childhood wounds, the spiritual wounds that we took in since we come into this word. Verse 4, he tells the number of the stars. He calls them all by their names. Could that mean the constellations have names? Verse 5, great is Yahweh, and of great power is understanding is infinite. Yahweh lifts up the meek. He casts the wicked down to the ground. Sing unto Yahweh with thanksgiving. Sing praise upon the harp unto our Elohim, who covers the heaven with clouds, who prepares rain for the earth, who makes grass to grow upon the mountains. He gives to the beasts his food, and to the young ravens which cry. He delights not in the strength of horse. He takes not pleasure in the legs of a man. Yahweh takes pleasure in them that fear him, and those that hope in his mercy. So when you put yourself in his mercy, you got to humble yourself. You ain't going to go all haughty like, hey, I paid my money. I'm good. I can do what I want to do. And think that you in his mercy. He don't take pleasure in you getting all big and strong and you eating, not eating meat and eating once a day and all types of different things. Yeah, it will help you. But he takes pleasure in those that fear him. Those that fear him obey his word, obey his example that he gave in his son. Verse 12, praise Yahweh, O Jerusalem, praise your Elohim, O Zion. For he has strengthened the bars of your gates. He has blessed your children within you. He makes peace in your borders and fills you with the finest of the wheat. He sends forth his commandment upon the earth. His word runs very swiftly. He gives snow like wool. He scatters the hoarfrost like ashes. He casts forth the ice like morsels. Who can stand before his cold? He sends out his word and melts them. He causes the wind to blow and the waters flow. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Yasharal. He has not dealt so with any nation. Verse 20, he has not dealt so with any nation. So that's a good thing. And that's also a bad thing for those that don't cooperate, because he showed his word unto us and gave his statutes and judgments. So when we don't follow him, we getting judged first. Then the nations will eventually get judged, but they got to get there 1,000 years to learn this. And they'll get it. Those that make it into the sabbatical kingdom, 1,000 years of peace, as long as they bring their stuff up to Jerusalem, they'll get their opportunity. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 16, Mishle chapter 16. So that's a gift and a curse that he's not dealt so with any other nation, to teach the statutes of life the way he's taught us. So we better utilize them. Proverbs, Mishle, chapter 16, and we're going to start this at verse 1. And then we have one more for the conclusion. The preparations of the heart in man and the answers of the tongue is from Yahweh. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but Yahweh weighs the spirit. So he's weighing the spirits. What spirit was in you when you did what you did? Was it a Holy Spirit? And maybe you made a mistake, and this was part of a lesson? Or were these unclean spirits? Or even worse, were they demonic spirits? Verse 3, commit your works unto Yahweh, and your thoughts shall be established. So when you're committing your deeds unto Yahweh, it don't matter whether you're eating certain foods, whether you're exercising, whether you're doing work at a job, whether you're doing ministry, whether you're in public, wherever it is, you're committing your behavior unto Yahweh. That way your thoughts are established. So you're not going to commit wickedness unto Yahweh and say, you know, I'm going to go slap people today. Oh, yeah. I'm going to commit that to Yah. Nah. You're going to change that act because you trying to commit your works unto Yahweh. Now that you are keeping your focus, is this worthy of Yahweh? Would I do this in front of Yahweh? Would I say this in front of Yahweh? If the answer is yes, then guess what? Your thoughts are going to be established when you committing your works unto Yahweh, because he's going to control your thoughts. He's going to have you think onto things. Remember, he said, I'll put those words in your mouth. He's going to lead you unto things that are beneficial, real blessings. Verse 4, Yahweh hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to Yahweh. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. Though I don't care how many people you join hands with, where you say, hey, we all gonna get in line and do the same thing. If it's against Yahweh and it's out of pride because you don't want to do what Yahweh said, you want to do what you want to do to make yourself feel healthy or safe, that's abomination to Yahweh. Verse 6, by mercy and truth, iniquity is purged. And guess what? We all got iniquity. So his mercy is that he gave us the truth. And the truth says that if you transgress, repent, and he will be merciful. That's how he purges our sins. And by fear of Yahweh, men depart from evil. So when we fear Yah, we can live in his mercy and be purged of our iniquity. When a man's ways please Yahweh, he make even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. A man's heart deviseth his way, but Yahweh directs his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgressed not in judgment. A just weight and balance are Yahweh's. All the weights of the bag are his works. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. So you always want to say to one another, hey, shalom, king. Shalom, king, right? Or you want to call yourself Melech? You want to call yourself a king? Okay. Well, it is an abomination to commit wickedness. So we have to walk in righteousness. If you a king, if you have dominion, verse 13, righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaks right. The wrath of a king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it. In the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is a cloud of the latter rain. Now don't forget which king we talk about here. We talk about YAH. That's the king we talking about. And when his king was made flesh, we talking about Yahweh Shai, the word. Verse 16, how much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver? The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keeps his way preserves his soul. So all these things talking about preserving your soul, that's your health. You don't have to just get shot to die. You don't have to just, get murdered. You don't have to just, die of a heart attack. There's other ways you can die that affect your health. You can die in spirit, where you don't even want to deal with things no more. You don't even want to walk in righteousness no more. You dead man walking. Verse 18, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handles a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusts in Yahweh, happy is he. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of his lips increases learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that has it, but the instruction of fools is folly. So the instruction of fools, and anybody who's trying to instruct you to go against Yah's righteousness is a fool. The wise are wise in their own eyes. Verse 23, the heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. Pleasant words. So what's the pleasant word? Yahweh's words. Faith, grace, mercy. Hey, listen, you can turn it around. Hey, we all been there. Hey, you're human. We all make mistakes. The spirit's willing, but the flesh is weak. We get it. Get up. Repent. Those are pleasant words. Sweet to your soul. This is good to your body and health to your bones. Now here's the contrast. Verse 25. There's a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And that is your way. That's the way that seems right unto the man. And your way is movable. Whatever seems to benefit you is your way. Yah's way is whatever is righteous. So there's a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are ways of death. Not just one way of death, ways, multiple ways for you to die. Pay attention. Heavenly health care. Verse 26, he that labors for himself, for his mouth craves it of him. An ungodly man digs up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire. Always looking for dirt on somebody. Always trying to talk down on somebody. Verse 28, a froward man sows strife. That goes with that ungodly man always trying to dig up evil. And a whisperer separates chief friends. A violent man entices his neighbor and leads him into the way that is not good. He shuts his eyes to devise froward things, moving his lips he brings evil to pass. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. So just because somebody got gray hair, that ain't no crown of glory if it ain't found in the way of righteousness. Verse 32, you just old. Verse 32, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. And this is what makes me feel as weak as a mouse sometimes. Sometimes I'm not slow to anger. I'm 0 to 100 anger. And a lot of that is that passive aggressive, not truly letting something go, wanting to appear righteous, but really you the same brother that don't let S slide like constipation. Nah, you got to really repent. You got to change the way you think. That's the only way you're going to be slow to anger, or else you're going to get jumped like snap of a finger. You're going to be angry again. And now your strength is weak. Verse 32, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that rules his spirit than he that takes a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of Yahweh. All this is in Yahweh's hand. All this is in his hand. So that's where your focus needs to be. So let's go to the conclusion. Let's see an example of how Yah can turn things around, how it's all in his hands. 2 Kings, Dibri Melachim, chapter 20. 2 Kings chapter 20. And we're just going to read verses 1 through 11 for the conclusion. Second Kings chapter 20, verse 1 through 11. And that's right, Brother Brandon. We are no better than any other nation. Matter of fact, we worse, because we got the righteousness and we still decided to do what the other nations did. So he expects so much of us. And wouldn't you, if you're blessing somebody abundantly in advance, wouldn't you expect them to do righteousness, do right by you? Absolutely, you're going to expect that. 2 Kings chapter 20, we're reading verses 1 through 11 for the conclusion. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And the prophet Yeshiah, the son of Amoz, came to him and said unto him, thus says Yahweh, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto Yahweh, saying, I beseech you, O Yahweh, remember now I have walked before you in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in your sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. Now, Yeshiah said, you're going to die and not live. He didn't say you're going to die tomorrow, but he said, get your house in order. So, that would concern me too. But see, Yah didn't tell you. Yah will tell you, tomorrow you're going to die. If he's going to send somebody to tell you, you're going to die. Verse 3. Verse 4. And it came to pass afore Yeshiah was gone out into the middle court, that the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, thus says Yahweh, the all of David, your father, I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Behold, I will heal you. On the third day, you shall go up unto the house of Yahweh. So he's giving them specifics, days and everything. In the third day, you're going to go up to the house of Yahweh. But Yah said, I will heal you. Because he put his trust in Yah. He put his mercy before Yah. So Yah heard his cry. But why is his confidence in Yah? Your confidence ain't going to be in Yah if you ain't trying to live according to Yah. He said, remember now I've walked before you in truth and with a perfect heart and done that which is good in your sight. Everything is in Yah's sight. So this is Yah's answer. Verse 6. And I will add unto you your days 15 years. And I will deliver you and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. And YAH said, take a lump of figs. And they took it and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said unto YAH, what shall be the sign that Yahweh will heal me, and that I shall go up into the house of Yahweh on the third day? And YAH said, this sign shall you have of Yahweh, that Yahweh will do the thing that he has spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or back 10 degrees? So what this is talking about is this at this time was a steps. This was elevation. If we look up that Hebrew word, there was elevation. And as the sun progressed, it would leave a shadow on the steps, and that would tell you what time it was and how many hours were left of the day, how many hours were in the day, so forth and so on. So it's nothing for it to go forward because the sun is going east to west. So it's going to keep going forward. But when the sun is going down and is going east to west, and then now the sun goes back 10 degrees, that's something different. That's a miracle. And Hezekiah answered, it's a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees, nay, but let the shadow return back 10 degrees. And YAH the prophet cried unto Yahweh, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. So if you look at that dial, like sundial, it's more talking about steps in the Hebrew. So praise Yah, he cried out unto Yahweh. So just like the young sister today, the 7-year-old, we crying out. We crying out to Yahweh for her life and for her safety. Peradventure, that one of us has done righteousness before him, that we have done anything in Yahweh's name of righteousness, that Yahweh would hear us, that he would heal, not because we some special people or we, some ultra righteous people. No, because Yah is merciful. And we putting our faith and trust and our confidence in him, not the doctors, not what man has to say, but what Yah has to say. But here's what comes with that. What comes with that is if it's not Yah's will that things should go the way we want it to go, we still praising Yah because it's according to Yah's will, Yah's perfect and holy will. He makes no mistakes. But we know that we can give him so much glory on the earth to be able to give the praise report that we cried out to you again, because this ain't the first time. We cried out to you again, Yahweh, and you heard our prayer despite our unworthiness. So let's keep this in mind. Let's keep our sister Corinne Anderson lifted up in prayers. Let's consider all our sick and shut in, all our elders that are suffering, all our people, around the world that are going through tribulations, and let us walk in faith that we're going to continue working on ourselves, perfecting our craft. Our craft is righteousness. We're going to keep working on that. And this is going to give you your health care. And this health care comes from heaven. It's not something that you can go scan and give them a member number. So that's all we're going to do today. Again, do we have any last questions or comments? I hope anybody who's in the Holy Day season for Passover, I hope they enjoyed it or enjoying it. Praise Yah. All right, so that's all we're going to do today. Yah's will, we'll see y'all on Shabbat. Shalom.